Hi, I'm Kelly Noble Mirabella from Stellar Media Marketing and Baby Got Bot, and you are listening to the Social Media Talks podcast with Alan Hennessy from compassmedia.ie.
Welcome to Social Media Talks podcasts, brought to you by compassmedia.ie.
Hello and thank you for joining me. This is the Social Media Talks podcast, brought to you by compassmedia.ie, episode number 58. And the Social Media Talks podcast is sponsored by Content Cal, creating solutions to simplify and speed up how teams can plan, collaborate on, approve, publish and analyze social media content in a familiar and intuitive calendar interface. In just 2 years, they have been trusted by over 10,000 businesses and agencies in 110 countries to deliver social media content at scale, and have recently won an award for Content Management Tool of the Year. And for more information on Content Cal, visit their website at contentcal.io. And the Social Media Talks podcast is proudly supported by charityradio.ie, one of Ireland's leading online radio stations supporting charities across Ireland for free. And for more information on Charity Radio, visit their website at www.charityradio.ie. I'm your host, Alan Hennessy, and this is the podcast to help business owners who want to learn more about social media marketing. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group, you can do so by logging on to facebook.com/groups/social media talks. And when you join the group, you will be found added bonus material from episodes on the podcast and also interaction and community workshops. And if you'd like to listen to any of our previous podcasts, you can log on to our website at compassmedia.ie/social media talks. And we're looking forward to today's show. Today I'm going to be joined by Kelly Mirabella, a self-described social media geek and marketing consultant with Stellar Media Marketing. With more than 11 years of social media marketing experience, Kelly brings her tricky social media concepts to life through her fun, clear and memorable social media training videos and classes. Kelly recognises how social media can take brand recognition, customer engagement and marketing efforts to a radical new level. What's more, Kelly has spent the past 2 years learning how to build Facebook Messenger bots, aka chatbots, and now teaches others on how to build them with a simple, entertaining and sometimes 80s themed tutorials. Today, Kelly teaches entrepreneurs, small business owners and working professionals on how to use social media to improve their business and achieve their goals. Kelly is known for her enthusiastic, creative and passion for demystifying social media. So whether you're trying to create a Facebook Live or building your own chatbots, you can count on Kelly to guide you with the skills and flair for total stellar results. And today we'll be talking to Kelly all about chatbots. So without further ado, I think we will transition straight over to the interview with Kelly. Hi Kelly, how are you today? Thanks for joining us today on the Social Media Talks podcast. It's a pleasure to have your company and looking forward to our chat. How are you today?
I'm doing so well, and thank you, Alan, so much for having me on your podcast. I am thrilled to come and chat with you a little bit about something I geek out on all the time. I'm just a total geek when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Brilliant stuff. And I suppose before we get stuck into our chosen subject, which of course is all about chatbots today, and I'm looking forward to finding out loads of information about this. Yes, and we'll be all becoming masters by the end of the podcast. But I suppose before we start, I think maybe you might give us a little bit of a brief background on yourself. I've given you a brief introduction at the start of the show, but you might give us a little bit more detail about yourself first.
Awesome. So I've been in the social media marketing sphere for the last 11 years, and I've owned my business, Stellar Media Marketing, for the past 9 years. I help busy professionals utilize and learn how to utilize social media tools. And I'm a big advocate of using all the various tools. And I look at Facebook as a tool. I look at Twitter as a tool, but I look at all these things on how we can use them cohesively together in a strategy. And one of the things that I'm just mad crazy about right now are chatbots. I've been kind of playing with chatbots, if you will, for the past 2 years. And in 2018, I really have dove in headfirst right into the mix and really started to totally geek out on chatbots, because I've seen that used with other things like webinars and Facebook ads and even things like email marketing, chatbots can really help elevate your marketing and make a better conversational piece and bring more value to your audience.
I suppose maybe 3-4 years ago, we really didn't know much about them. But I think, especially in the last year anyway, definitely they have just become really part of your marketing strategy. And especially with regards to social and digital, your digital strategies, they are so important.
Oh, yeah.
But I think at the start of it all, I think where we probably need to start is to explain exactly what a chatbot is and where I can get one, as they say.
Sure. Yeah, so it's funny because some people don't realize that they've been using chatbots for a long time. If you're an iPhone user, you have a chatbot in your pocket. Your Siri is a type of chatbot. If you're an Android user, your Google, when you talk to your phone, and I'm not going to say it now because everyone's Android phones will go off, but when you ask Google, hey, from your phone, and it brings up all that info, that is a chatbot. Alexa is a chatbot. These are all voice-activated chatbots. My specialty is in Messenger, Facebook Messenger chatbots. So it's basically these conversations, kind of like a choose your own adventure book, where you build out these different paths and conversations that people can take based off of buttons and questions and answers. We call them flows. So you think of like a way that you might flow through a conversation. And as a human, I am building out these flows on the back end, and then the user can choose their own adventure, if you will. And is that like reading one of those books where you're just going to go along that flow into various conversations that I, on the back end, have built out to lead you to where I want you to go.
It's similar. So it's similar to, I suppose in the sense it's similar to starting a conversation and then just finding out exactly what it is that you want to actually talk about and what you want to know about.
Yeah, it's in the very basics of it. It's a conversation. And if you think about that, that really is helpful when building them out. The only difference is the builder is deciding the construct of the conversation and kind of gently nudging you in certain directions or giving you answers based off of where you, the user, go with that.
Right. And of course, then obviously there's a lot of I suppose you have to be thinking about keywords as well, and content like that. That it's going to be, it's going to work, and it's going to say, right, okay, well, this will answer if someone asks this question.
Sure. So I'm actually really glad that you brought this up because I think a lot of people initially, when they think about chatbots, when they hear this word chatbot, they immediately think that it's like AI, like artificial intelligence, and the chatbot is going to be very smart and be able to create conversations based off of what the user is doing. And while that is possible, it's also very, very expensive to have a chatbot like that. You literally have to be Google in order to have a chatbot like that. And by the way, they have a chatbot like that, a very intelligent, smart. And then you could also be Microsoft with your Watson, IBM, basically chatbot program. So what we're talking about is not artificial intelligence. So your chatbots for the average business, they're not going to be that smart. And so when you go into building your chatbot, you really, as the builder, have to think ahead. So if you want to integrate keywords, there's no AI that's going to magically take a keyword and direct someone. You have to build that in. So I use keywords quite a bit in my chatbot building, but I don't always add them right at the beginning. I just kind of pay attention when people start making comments. I'm like, oh gosh, they're not able to get where they need to go. Then I'll go and add that keyword and it triggers it. So it's totally possible. But I think that there is that misconception when we say something like messenger bots or chatbots that is automatically artificial intelligence. And it's actually really has very little to do with artificial intelligence. That's something that can be brought in, but it's not the typical chatbot.
Yeah, and I think that's always been sort of a barrier with people, where they would, they sort of say, oh, hold on, they're going to find out all the information about me, and there's, and I think that's human nature, I suppose, is they want to try and keep it as private as they can. But I think if you're coming onto especially something like Facebook Messenger, and you're engaging in a conversation with a business or whatever that has a chatbot, you're going to have to say, right, okay, what do I want? But I think it's actually it's really good, because it means then that you're actually getting that conversation, and you're not sort of waiting for someone, like if you put in, hello, can you help me? And that you could be waiting 2 or 3 days. It's actually going to come back with an answer, and then it's also going to charge up something that, which is great. So it has a lot of immediacy, if nothing else, as well. And I don't know if that's an actual word, but I think,
we want results now, right? We want when we want now. So a chatbot can certainly help with that kind of impatient user, if you will. Also, somewhere where it can help, that is actually something that came up in a conversation I had last week with someone who was in sales. They told me, well, you cannot replace a salesperson with a chatbot. And I said, that is the wrong idea. Don't try to replace your sales process with a chatbot, but it is a great way to qualify leads, to lead them to the salesperson. And also, sometimes people are just not ready to talk to a salesperson. And so it's a way for them, the user is like, I'm okay talking to a, quote unquote robot or a program to get my answers right now, because I really I'm not there yet. But then you kind of use the chatbot to take them from, I'm not there yet, to, hey, let's qualify you a little bit. And okay, I think you're ready to talk to Sally, the sales girl. And then they're okay with it. So it's a qualifying tool. It's not a replacement for humans.
Yeah. And I think that's very true, because if you take that, and the regular listeners to this podcast will always know that I try and equate everything to real life. And if you think about that, if you walk into a shop, you're not going to be automatically met by the sales assistant, but you are going to walk around and you're going to find something that's interesting, or that interests you, and you're going to go and you're going to speak to that sales assistant. So it is a case of qualifying, and it's that similar situation there. And then you have the opposite, where if you walk into, say, a hardware store, and and you're looking for whatever it is, hammer and nails, that you're going to go straight up to the counter and you're going to say, I'm looking for this. And that in itself is the same. It's a similar situation. And and I see the point of it. I see the whole idea behind that, because, and I think that's where people say, oh, well, it'll never take away from sales. But, I think it just enhances it. And it just makes the conversation so much easier to understand as well, because both sides know exactly where they're coming from.
Yeah, you're creating experiences that as humans we have in the real world. Like you said, I go to the shop, and when I'm ready, I'm going to talk to someone, and they're going to ask me qualifying questions, and I'm going to answer those questions. And a good salesperson is going to ask a lot of questions, right? I used to be in sales, so I get it. But online, that is a hard experience to create. And we're able to create that in a chatbot. We're able to create a lot of experiences with chatbots, but that is specific to sales. We're able to create a sales experience like you would have in a shop in a chatbot experience.
And that's, brilliant. So the next question is, how do we set it up? How do we go about doing this?
Sure, yeah. So I talk to a lot of people. I specialize in helping small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, multi-level marketers. Not the most giant of companies that have to kind of do it all, and they're bootstrapping. And it can be really intimidating, because you think of this and you see the tech on the front end, you're like, whoa, I bet this is like custom done, and there's coding. And let's just be clear, I don't code, but I can build really cool chatbots. And I do that because I use tools like ManyChat. Now, ManyChat is my favorite bot building tool, but there are a lot of other tools. You might look at ChatFuel, Mobile Monkey, I think, or Messenger Monkey or something like that is the other one. I'm not as familiar with those. I use ManyChat because I'm a really visual person, and they have this thing called a visual builder, which allows me to see kind of the direction that different conversation sets are going to go. And I can really picture the whole thing, because as someone who's building a chatbot, you really have to think ahead and really develop this conversation. You kind of have to be okay with having conversations with yourself. I happen to be slightly crazy like that.
I don't think anyone doesn't have a conversation with themselves.
So as long as you're okay with having conversations with yourself, you're going to do great. You're going to build a really wonderful chatbot because you're literally in your own head thinking, if I'm having this conversation with the end user, then how is this going to go? What experience are they going to have? And so I want to visualize that and then kind of run through it over and over again. So ManyChat really allows me to do that. It's so easy to use. And I don't just say that as a total geek girl. I say that because I have helped people who have no tech experience build a chatbot that are really impressive in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
And all you need to do is do the basics. So you do need Facebook, a business page to do this. They all run through the business page messenger. And so you will need Messenger. But if you have a business page on Facebook, you already have Messenger. Check and check, right? And then you pick out the tool that works for you. I just happen to like ManyChat. So if that's the tool you use, if you like Chatfuel, go you. And they're all about the same cost, to be honest. You can get all of them for free to start. ManyChat has a free version. There's some pieces of it that you can't use. I'm a pro user. I think everyone who's going to build a chatbot should be a pro user after their first bot. With your first bot, hey, free is cool, man. You just got to get in there and learn how this thing works, right? You can get it done. But once you start figuring out what's possible and your mind starts kind of blowing up like with ideas, then the pro account is only $10 a month. And I think it's up to 500 subscribers.
Which is fantastic when you think about it.
Yeah. And really quick, I think it's important to understand what a subscriber is in a Facebook Messenger. Because as a user, you might be like, oh my gosh, people can just message me. This is so annoying. When in fact, a subscriber, you have to actually message that page. It can't be anyone who likes your page. That's not how it is. Anyone who messages your page. And where you're all at over there, where you have the GDPR and all that good stuff, right? You have to actually opt in. You are protected by those same laws with Messenger. So you have to opt in. And I have actually teach all my students, whether they're here in the United States or anywhere else, you need to build in that opt-in. So it's not automatic. So people say, yes, I understand I am receiving messages from this page. So you have to opt in. It's not a matter of importing or uploading your information. The user actually has to message your page first before any message can come to you. So you're kind of safe in that respect. And at any time, you could say unsubscribe, and they have to unsubscribe you. In fact, tools like ManyChat have that feature already built in. You cannot turn it off. It says if they type unsubscribe, it takes them out. If they say stop, it does the same thing.
Yeah, which is great, and that's exactly what you want. You want to have, you want that customer to have that control as well. That they're not going to keep badgered with, so many. Like I've seen it on a lot of pages where it just keeps coming, and there'll be pages that I would regularly want, and it's just bing, message after message, and you just go, I don't need this. I really don't need this, and it becomes annoying. And then people just say, right, I'm going to leave, and they go elsewhere. But like we had Mikhail on from ManyChat a couple of months back, and he was talking about this, but he was talking about it more so from a developer's end of it and how it actually works. So it's great to get from your point of view as a marketer and as a trainer to be able to speak about that, because I think that's where people as well would like to know. As much as they love the development end of it, it's the other side of it as much as I think is what's going to have a large impact on their business if nothing else.
And I think really, it goes back to this idea of annoying people, right? I don't want to send an annoying chatbot. I don't want to have annoying Facebook pages. I don't want to be annoying on social media in general. And this goes for everything we as businesses and marketers do. We don't want to be annoying. We don't always think about the end user, though. We just want to get our message out, right? We're always thinking in our own heads. And I teach all my students, regardless if it's chatbot classes, Facebook Live. I've taught every social network out there because I've been doing it a while. The most important thing is to respect the end user. Always try to put your feet in their shoes. It's the golden rule of business. Do unto others. And so I always really want to look at my chatbots or my marketing campaigns. And I know I, as a business, have something I need to do. I have a goal with this. That's why I do it, right? But if I'm disrespecting the end user, it won't work. And ultimately, people are going to run away from me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather attract people. So always think about the golden rule, whether you're building chatbots or anything else you're doing in your marketing, and respect the end user.
Yeah, and I think that's key, because like it's like a, you know, I've had, like, obviously we've done so many of these podcasts, and I think the overall writing fact in every one of the podcasts is what we've had is you know, adding value to your customers and making sure that they are getting what they want, because that's the only way you're going to get your business across the line is by doing that. And if you can add value and you can help them, you know, enrich their lives in every shape and form, it's a win-win situation for everybody.
It absolutely is. Absolutely. I mean, your business goals and their needs, the user's needs, they actually do meet often, but we have to respect each other to get to that point, right?
Yeah. And like that, like I was talking to, we were talking to someone there a couple of weeks back. I don't think it was on the podcast, but we were actually talking about, you know, what it is to actually, you know, how should we do that? And I was saying, well, you think about it from your end of the scale. If you're going, if a chatbot comes on to you and starts talking to you, what do you want out of it? And they go,
Exactly.
well, and, you know, and this was in, I think this was in an Instagram, you know, conversation that we were talking about. And I was saying to him, like, it's what your customer wants. It's what the outcome is for them. That's what's going to sell it to them. And they go, oh, now I get it. And, you know, I think that's similar to what we're talking about here. And that's, you know, and I know some people may say, oh, well, we know that. But there's a lot of people out there that sort of, you know it, but you actually don't.
But you don't practice it.
You don't practice it. Exactly. And that's the truth of it. You know what I mean? And I think if we start in thinking about that way, I think it's going to help a lot more with everyone, with your marketing as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even, you know, someone who preaches this, I still have to remind myself pretty much every time I set up a campaign for my chatbot, is this an enjoyable experience? Is this getting the person what they need without extra fluff or steps? Or, you know, sometimes I can be very wordy. So I have to build everything, go back and like cut a whole bunch of stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the key is to go, don't be afraid to build it and build it out as much as you can, and just, and try and think of every eventuality, but then go back and look at it and say, well, really, is that going to work? You know, like
Really necessary.
yeah, I've often done it, like when we'd be creating a campaign, and I'd look at it and I'm saying, does that say what, would that entice me? And I go, maybe I'll change this, maybe I'll tweak that. And I think when you start doing that, you know, and it's a process of elimination as much as anything else to get it right, you know. But once
Absolutely.
I think once you get it right, it really can be so effective. Like, I'm sure, like, you could give us loads of examples as well as to how this has worked for how it's worked for business, or even not even businesses, but, you know, niche markets as well.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you mentioned that Bella Vasta was just on your show recently, and I helped her and her marketing girl come up with a plan for their chatbot. And we did this whole strategy where she went live, and there was a pre-promotion using a chatbot. So when she actually went live, she already had all these people in her chatbot interested in the live broadcast, sent out a message via chatbot. She had over 50 people live on her show, on her Facebook Live, which is huge for anyone, no matter how big you are, to have that many people. And it was all from this little chatbot that she built. And then she did that Facebook Live to get people into her webinar. And because of another chatbot tool that we implemented on the Facebook Live, they were able to register for the webinar right there from the Facebook Live seamlessly in Facebook without having to go anywhere else. And she had that day over 100 people signed up for her webinar. And the only money she spent was $25.
Wow.
And that was for a little pre-promotion. So yeah, that's just one example of so many pieces. There's just so many things. I could sit here and talk all day long about all the different ways that you could use chatbots, but every business can use a chatbot in one way or another. And they're just really, really powerful to help connect with people when you have them right there on your Facebook page or in your Facebook Live or what have you.
And I think as well as that, where you're talking with chatbots, it's not just about a conversation. You can add, as you said there, you can add in links and stuff like that, which I think is huge value, because, you know, everyone is using, there's very little people now on social media that are using anything, you know, to connect. All right, they're looking at Facebook pages, or they're looking at Twitter, or they're looking at LinkedIn, but they're using the messenger services in these platforms to really connect with their audience or connect with other people. So it has grown exponentially, you know, so much over the last year. Like, I even notice it with us. Like, if someone's talking to me, they say, how's the quickest way to get to you? And I always say, well, Facebook Messenger is probably the quickest way to get to me, because I'm out and about, so I'll always have my phone on either way if I can't get to it, you know? So, yeah, I think it's great that way.
Facebook Messenger is between Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. WhatsApp is also owned by Facebook. Across the board in the world, except for China, because they have their own stuff, we have either WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger at the top, and they fight for the top. Here in the United States, it's Facebook Messenger. I believe in the UK and in most of Europe, it's WhatsApp, but Facebook comes in second. You have over 2 billion people. Just saying billion is kind of crazy to me. 2 billion people are utilizing Facebook Messenger. So you kind of have to start thinking to yourself, like, where's the party at? I got to go there. Yeah. That's where the party's at.
And that's it, because, you know, it really is. It's very important, because, like, it's probably the easiest way for people to get in contact with businesses now in this day and age. Because everyone like, no matter, like, as you say, there's 2 billion people using Facebook as it is, like, you know, so, like, that's crazy figures. Like, it's not even believable type. When I say believable, like, you couldn't even fathom that type of quantity of people using one particular product. Like, you think about the potential there is there for an audience, and if you can get them in a click of a message, it makes it so much easier, you know?
It is. And it's a great way to deliver things that they might need. I've delivered lead magnets. I've gotten people into my Facebook Lives. I've, promoted upcoming events. There's just so many wonderful things that you can do. And you can really create kind of an active community. I've also used it to grow my Facebook group or get people to engage with content on my Facebook page, which any business owner knows that's really, really hard these days. But I have engagement rates that are fairly high. The normal rate across the board is like 1% reach on a Facebook post. Mine is anywhere between 20 and 50, depending on whether it's my page or one of my clients' page. I hover around 20% reach and engagement rates. So, you know, and that's because I'm on the back end doing these things, these magical little things with chatbots. So it's really a great tool for connecting with people, for getting people what they need, for building out other platforms, for getting more engagement and building communities. It's really about, what's your goal? As a business person, what's your goal? How can you bring value? And then we look at the tools available, chatbots, Facebook, you know, all these other tools, and how can we utilize those tools to meet our end goal and have our end user, our potential customer, meet there as well. And chatbots are just kind of a magical way of making that happen. And they're really, really easy, I promise.
Yeah. No, I definitely think we'll have to investigate that a lot more, because I'm just looking, like, I know I was on Facebook last night, and the other night, and I was sitting there and I was watching a program on the TV, and message came up from one of my colleagues, and he was saying, oh, we're doing a webinar live, and it was a masterclass type of thing, and it came up and says, register now, and I would not have seen that webinar, you know, announcement if it hadn't been for the chatbots. And the particular guy that I'm talking about, he uses this constantly, and he's a firm believer, and he's on the cutting edge of technology, and he was saying it's a no-brainer. Everyone should be using these, because they are so effective.
They're very effective, and I guarantee you that if you are on Facebook as a business, there is a place for a chatbot for you. I have worked with a whole bunch of different industries doing a whole bunch of different things, and I've always been able to find at least one use, a really good use for chatbots, if not multiple. So there's definitely a use for them, and that's one of many. And it's beautiful because it's frictionless. When we have a sales process or a webinar registration process, every time we take someone from step A over to like step B, maybe step B is on another website or a landing page, that creates friction. And as anyone who's ever been in sales knows, friction is not necessarily good to get people to the end. We want to keep it seamless. We don't want to create any speed bumps to slow them down and think, oh, maybe I don't want to do this, or oh, it's just too complicated.
Yeah.
So a chatbot can create a really seamless, frictionless experience. It's just fun for getting people to the end.
Yeah, and it is, and it's making it so easy for them to actually just to follow through that sales funnel, and even if it's not actually a sale, if it's just to get certain things, and I think we must be, I suppose we have to be honest, everything we do is a sales funnel. It's in some
really
shape or form, whether it be monetary or whether it be just that you want more people to like or share stuff or whatever it may be. I think it's the same thing, but it's making it easier. It's like when we're talking here, as I was saying to you, I'll send you on a copy of the podcast, and because you're giving your time here for free, and you're coming in and you're giving your experience or your expertise out. So for me, I have to be making it easy for you to come in. So likewise, if you have someone who's in a chatbot who's going to answer that question or who's going to be able to help you, it's going to make their life easier, and it's going to stop them from walking away.
Exactly.
It's the same. It's going back to the same.
Simple.
It's going back to the same scenario of websites many years ago when they used to take 10 minutes to load, and literally people were gone because they weren't. So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's friction, and it's just, I haven't got time for this, bang, and they're gone to the next one that works. So, keeping them on and making sure that they're okay and making sure that everything is in place with them. I think that's the trick is to figure it out as to how you can help your customers. And I think if you, as you said, if you have their, outcome in mind, that's what's going to work for you.
Exactly. Think about the end user and you'll create less friction.
Exactly. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah, I have, I could sit here and talk about this for days because I just think it really is. No, it's very interesting, but it's very interesting in the sense of, we're talking about digital, we're talking about social media, we're talking about chatbots, but when you think about it, when we think about the person, and you think about people and you think about their lives and the way we live now, like, maybe 20, 30 years ago, we would be quite slow to do stuff because that was the pace of life. Whereas now, reality. Everyone wants everything either now or yesterday. They wanted this, they wanted it, and it's not this, oh, I have to do it. It's just the way life has moved on. It's the way we've moved on in our age as well, as much as anything else. Because people want to be able to just go, right, this is it. It's like a podcast. It's on demand. It's when you want it. It's where you want it.
Exactly. That's why Netflix is so dominant instead of your regular television. Yeah.
Like I had that conversation with someone the other week. I was saying, when is the last time you actually sat through an ad break on the television? And I the same answer came back. I think it was actually with a class I was teaching, and every one of them came back and says, I haven't watched an ad in about 2 years, because they just fast forward. And I said, because that's the way life has gone. Now, okay, there is an argument to say maybe that's wrong, but I don't, I think everyone has their time when they will and they won't they'll slow down and whatever. And you have to obviously take that time out for yourself. And I'm not telling anyone that, everyone's speeding around and whatever, but it's still, I think it's the way we are the generation that we're living in and the times that we're living in. And it's great. It really is. It's fantastic to be able to have on demand when you want it. And with a chatbot in Facebook Messenger, it's just the next level to what Messenger can do for you. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, I sort of went off on a little rant there. Sorry.
It's okay. It's true.
But it is. As I said, I could sit here and talk to you all day and all night about this, but I am running out of time, and I do want to have, we always ask our guests at the end of the podcast one simple question, and the question is if you had the chance to invite someone to dinner, who would it be and why? And that can be from the past or the present.
Okay, so that's a really easy one for me. Sir Richard Branson would be my answer. I have followed his career. First of all, I'm dyslexic. He's dyslexic. He's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. So there's some parallels there. I have followed his career as long as I've been an entrepreneur, as long as I can remember. And the funny thing is now my husband works for him.
Wow.
We actually moved to California so that my husband could work for Virgin Galactic. And I followed him way before my even knew who he was. So my husband's actually met him several times. And I have had the pleasure of meeting him once. It was the most awkward thing in the world because I was so excited. I basically word vomited all over him. And my husband's in my ear, like, ask him for a picture, because that's really what I wanted. But yes, I would love to not word vomit on him and invite him to dinner and have him just like chat with me about the experience of, being an entrepreneur. And he's so open that he's already kind of told that experience, but having more of an on-level conversation. He's a very kind person in real life, by the way. The very short time I've met him, he's very kind and open to talking, and he loved my kids. He would rather talk about my kids than take a picture with me. So that's who I would have a meal with. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, he is. That's the first time he's been on this show as one of the guests, because we've had so many different people on, and I have to admit it would be one of my favorites. I would have, that's the one. If someone asked me that question, there would be 5 or 6 people, but he'd be up there in the top 1 or 2 anyway. Definitely, he is a phenomenal success. And I've read his book, and you can see like that it wasn't just plain sailing from day one. So and look where he is now. It would be. I think it'd be a fantastic chat and a fantastic evening, if nothing else.
Oh yeah, I'd pull out all the stops to cook him dinner.
You wouldn't be no microwave dinners there in that one.
No.
Yes. Tell us, Kelly, how can people get in contact with you if they want to reach out to you?
Great. I am everywhere at Stellar247. That's STELLAR and the numbers 247.
Brilliant stuff. So that's as simple as that. I love it when a guest comes on and just says, "This is where I am," and that's how you'll find me. End of story. Exactly.
Including at .com. So.
Right. Well, Kelly, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, and thanks so much for all of the insights into chatbots. And we're definitely going to go out. And I think the call to action has to be to get on and try and build a chatbot, just a simple one, and work from there, because that's the way to do it. So that's the call to action.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Get out there and do a chatbot. If you need help, go to the Stellar247 YouTube. I've got a whole bunch of tutorials to get you started.
Brilliant. Well, that's even better again. So we've no excuses now at all. Kelly, it's been an absolute pleasure. We shall talk to you soon. We wish you every continued success in the future. And no doubtly, you will be back on this podcast as well. We'll have to get you on soon again. All
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me, Alan.
Great stuff. Thanks, and have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. So my thanks to Kelly for coming on the podcast today and sharing with us some fantastic tips and tricks and insights on how to grow your chatbots on Facebook and other digital platforms as well. And for more information about Kelly, you can log on to our website at stellarmediamarketing.com, and you can also find her on all the social networks as well, and search for her under Stellar247. So once again, my thanks to Kelly for coming on, and don't forget, if you join our Facebook group, which is /groups/social media talks, you can find some bonus material, a little bonus video of tips and tricks from Kelly from this week's episode. So we would say to you, jump onto the Facebook platform and join our group. Very, very simple. All you have to do is log in and request to join the group, and you'll find all the bonus material in there as well. And if you'd like to listen to any of our previous podcasts, you can log on to our website at compassmedia.ie/podcasts. And all of our podcasts are also available on Mixcloud, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. And we would be delighted if you would leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, as we're always thrilled to receive your feedback on any of the programs. You can also subscribe there to the Social Media Talks podcast so you never miss an episode as well. And if you'd like the show notes for this episode or for any of the previous episodes, log on to our website at compassmedia.ie/SM Talks show notes. And if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, please do get in contact with us. All you have to do is email us at smtalks@compassmedia.ie. And if you'd like to find out about the services that Compass Media provide, please do log on to the website and you can find everything from social media marketing and management to training. And also in there as well, we have our new section, our podcast production and training section as well. And if you'd like to reach out to me here on social media, you can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram as well. All you have to do is search for Compass Media or for Alan Hennessy. That's about it for today. Until the next time we see you, I am Alan Hennessy from Compass Media for the Social Media Talks podcast. So on the next time, have a great week and we'll talk to you next week. On the next time, as I always say, be social. On the next time, bye-bye.
Social Media Talks podcast is a production from compassmedia.ie.